Everybody, welcome to Stunt Hanger Videos. This is where you're going to find out how to build these beautiful control line airplanes. So find us on Facebook, like us on YouTube, share us with your friends. You can also talk to us on the web at stunthanger.com. Well, good morning. This morning we're going to talk about this nose ring fitment. I'm waiting on some of these extensions from John, but they're the same as this. So I took this out of my Mega Tucker because I want to get going on this molded top block today. And the first thing I have to do is fit this nose ring. Now I'm going to talk about this nose ring. Even aircraft plywood is not good enough, actually. So what I do is I make my own nose rings. I use 64th plywood and I laminate it together. These are super strong, because when I attach my cowl, I use a dowel through the center there. I drill a hole in the center there, and the cowl attaches with one dowel at this end and one screw at that end. So the 1/8" aircraft plywood, even after use, gets fuel soaked, whatever happens, and they get mushy right there. But I found that the 64th plywood nose rings that I make are much better. So first thing I got to do is I got to bring this up. It's not sticking out far enough. One, it's sticking out about 32nd of an inch. I just take this sanding stick, and I could take the engine out and go hit it on the disc sander. And we might do that just to get it squared. Let me do that. It's a whole lot easier. Take this engine out. Taking like 2 seconds on the disc sander and all day sanding this. So I better get a line on it to see how much I need. Hey, good morning. This is a motor I picked up in Cincinnati several years back. I'm gonna upgrade it to a Brian Gardner liner set up. Okay. Now I got a line where it needs to be. I'm trying to do this, like I say, trying to do this airplane the absolute best woodwork I can. That way, when it comes to finishing, it will be super easy. I think I'll go pick up that 12-inch disc sander today. Except the only bad thing is my property taxes are due. $1,800. What a joke. Gotta go back to work. Can't afford stun hanger. There we go. Okay. Give me a second. I'm going to walk over to the disc sander and buzz this off, and I'll be right back. Take less than a minute. 30 seconds. Probably see that red airplane in the background. I got to put another coat of red on that today. Not mine. Okie dokie. So we know that's going to be square because the table of the disc sander is square. This is Viper number 2. So within 60 days or 90 days, I'll have 2 of these. Except the finish is going to take a little longer. It's going to be pearl on this airplane. I'm going to do a custom paint job. Try to win that coveted concourse award, but I don't know. Judges don't know what they're looking at. Close enough. Yeah, it looks pretty good. That's it. Okay. Now, I need a spinner with a 3/8 hole in it so I can get that back plate centered so that this is perfect to the back plate. It's close. It's within, I sanded this nose ring within 2 pencil lines of the 2-inch diameter. However, the problem is some of these spinners are 52 millimeter. Yeah, we got a back plate here. That's good enough. I think we got kind of a problem here. I need to sand that back a little more. Sounds crooked. Just a few thousandths. We need to take a little more off of this side. I really need to go back on the disc sander with it. We want perfect on this airplane. We want perfect. That way, what are you gonna do about that? Not a damn thing. I'll leave this screw out of it. In here needs some red chaser in it. Once I get this fit, I can take this out and we'll start loading our bucket up to see how much exact weight we have in hardware. The tank, that's the CAS tank, carbon tank, the prop, the engine, spinner. That way we get a more accurate weight on what this thing's going to be. Whatever the hardware is plus 6 ounces is what it's going to be. What the hell's holding it in there? This stupid screw right here. Okay. 1 second more. Hey! Kia ora. I'm going to show you the inside of this thing too. We'll get the camera in hand and show you what it looks like inside. I'll do that right now. The only thing I don't like is that pillow block that I put in. It doesn't look real clean, but the inside of this airplane looks just as good as the outside. Let's see here. We want this. too much shit. Yeah, this spot here, I got some glue I need to kind of knock off of that. Some where I put the C on it and hit it with a kicker. But inside of the airplane is absolutely as nice as the outside. And that's what you want. Okay, so let's go back to this other camera. Try this fitment again. Get rid of this damn thing. You know, I run that sticky back sandpaper. Well, it doesn't stick very good, so I got me some 3M77. Now I probably won't be able to get it off the stupid thing. Let's take this one out because I need to work on that hole. Anyway. Right. I hope. I'll show you, I'll give you an idea how much motor offset I run too. Oop. You see how much it's kicked over this way? A bunch. That way you have line tension on the overheads. And the way that I do this, by sanding it in, you can't tell. When it's sanded in, you can't tell it's got that it's a good idea. I'll give that a try. Because I know damn well it's going to be a bitch. I'll have to use acetone or something to get it off. Now the other side needs a little bit, but I'll just sand that with a stick. Got an idea. Don't know if it'll work, but we'll give her a try. That way it'll be perfect. It's close. Yeah. Of course, I got to chase it on the floor. Yeah, they look a lot better, I think, with the extension on it. But that's not really the reason for doing it. The reason for doing it is to set the engine back towards the center of gravity and still have the length. So, come on out of there. There it is. Okay, now let's glue it on. I'm gonna need some epoxy because this is a structural type deal. Because the cowl is pulling on it. So you want to use epoxy. And 5 minutes, plenty good. What I should do is mark it. We'll mark where it goes. Okay. Now, take your X-Acto knife or drill, or what? Let's get a drill. Little hand drill, 16th, and just put some dimples in there. Yeah. That's where's it round? Well, we could use this as a poker. We don't need to drill. We'll just use a ball driver. There we are. So what I did there was I just poked a few holes in there. That allow the epoxy to push in there, and it'll key it in. That way it's on there forever. So let me get some spacers so we get this on there exactly perfectly straight. How thick is this? This is 3/36. May have to put some sandpaper on it to no, it'd be fine. Okay, let's get some epoxy. Yeah, dee, dee, dee. Left enough room so that if them other extensions are shorter, I got 32nd or 3/32 of an inch between the back plate and the spinner nut, or the back plate and the nose ring. You know, sometimes I run them, you know, just a few thousandths away, but they end up rubbing. So I decided on this one we'll have a substantial gap. As long as it's uniform, it'll look fine. 1/16 of an inch. Because you know, when they put the fiberglass over it, that adds thickness. Oogie doogie. Shit. I gotta get some paper towels today. When you get a job, you will still check a few videos our way on stun. Oh yeah. I was doing it in Dayton every day. looks about right. Things are going to change next year anyway. Stunhanger is going to have to be a paid subscription. Got to. I got to do it. You know, years ago, everybody contributed and it worked pretty good. But now that people are dying off or whatever, there is so much. It's so big. I got to, you know, I got to do what I got to do. I'll figure it out. I'll make it. It'll be the best for the stunt community. I think you guys can afford $5 a month for stunt as a mandatory thing, and donate any of the extra we can put towards a kit and start doing kit giveaways again. But I can't do kit giveaways and keep the site open. Yeah, I need to sell some of them too. I'm going to sell this Continental behind me, PA 75. I'm going to sell that one. And I don't know what, I got some other ones. I'll sell that Magnum and sell my Mega Tucker. I got too many airplanes. This is the 16th one here. Yeah, looks like it hardened. So I'll give it another minute and I'll take that off and see how we did. Then I'm going to taper the nose and I'm going to put a block on top and carve the block so that I can make a buck for a molded nose shell. Let's see, Terry Forbes. Yeah. Terry Forbes voted for molded nose block. And I got a piece of wood that's 5 pounds. But even if I cut it out of 5 pounds, it's going to be a half an ounce. You just can't get it as thin as a molded, you know, as perfectly symmetrical and even as a molded skin. So if I have a piece of wood like this and it weighs 10 grams, you know, I'll look for my lightest piece of wood or whatever it happens to be, 14 grams, and I mold it, that's what it's going to be. It's not, you know, so there's no surprises. Yeah, I think it's probably good enough. See how we did without the prop on it. Hope I got it on there square. You know. Yeah, it'll do, I guess. I have to start leaving them bigger than that. Don't cut them so damn close. Yeah, I still got material. Okay, we're fine. We're good. You got a nice even Even gap all the way around. Perfect. Okay. Let me take this out. Is that UC, whatever UC is, filler block on the top and bottom hardwood? The bell crank mounts through motor mount, through maple. The other piece that glues on top of that maple to the spar is just a piece of balsa wood as a filler block. Normally I don't do that. This is kind of overkill. I just leave it alone, but come on out of there now. I'm trying to over-engineer this. Okay. Now we're going to take this. That ain't no good. The undercarriage. Here, the landing gear blocks, this is balsa, but underneath this is plywood and basswood. I got a whole video on that in this section 2 on how to make landing gear blocks. Pen, let's try a pen. Now I'm going to step away for a second and take this over to the disc sander and sand this. I'm going to sand this outside real quick on the disc sander. Give me a second. I don't want to hang on and grind for an hour. Because I got to grind through carbon. Ah, shit. Maybe. Well, that kills that. Can't do it. Can't do it. So I'm going to have to do it by hand, which is better for you guys. I only got a little flat on there. Here we go. We'll try the 36 grit. These noses are always difficult. There's a lot of sanding. Not so much the other side. I guess I can do the other side, turn it over, and then do this side. If I was doing cars, we'd have money rolling out the butt. Motorcycle, airplane, pretty small niche, and control liners are do-it-yourselfers, and they don't see the value in this. Okay, I got one side close. Okay. I guess I can mold the canopy on that nose block too. Try a super hard compound. I'm gonna do those wheel pants in balsa. So I might as well do the nose and the canopy in one piece, molded piece. And it probably will take me all day to make the mold, Buck. Don't just sand from here to the spinner. It goes, tapered all the way back so it looks uniform. Because I see guys all the time that they sand the last 2 inches into the nose ring and it looks funny. It looks like a baseball bat. That's not how a real airplane would be. Trying to make it streamlined. It's hard because that's a carbon line right there. But I've built this nose and given you guys the key to how not to sand into the motor mounts, because usually right there you sand into the motor mounts. Well, with the 3/16 on top and the doublers back there, you just miss it, so it doesn't show through the glass. We'll make the cowl up today too. You want to save the last bit. You don't want to sand this nose ring in until the spinner's on it. And you put some tape on the spinner and you copy that curve that's in the spinner. So by the looks of this spinner, it should taper all the way back to here, way back there. Try that other spinner, the one I'm going to use. Same thing. Gonna have to add some super fill to that. Stupid fill. Go over and get one of them 2x4 bars and cut a top block and get that going. That's pretty close. The whole thing about me showing you this is to make it easy for you. Well, that's good. Hopefully you follow the rest of my steps so that it makes life easy. Yeah, looks pretty good. Okay, now this side. I guess we can do this. Turn it over this way. And I got it pretty close. Pretty close. Okay, that's that one. So now this side, it's going to be fine. It'll be fine. Okay, we got the basic shape. It'll take some refinement after I get the block on it and get it. Well, that's good. I'd like to see that. I'm glad to see somebody use it because I wasn't going to use it. All right, we got the basic shape. Now I need to go get one of them pine boards, cut her to length, and start shaping the nose. I'll be right back. Hang on. I'll walk over here to my stack. This is unbelievable. This board here is 10-pound wood. Comes from Bud Nosen too. You could build a house out of this shit. So we need a length. We need a length. Okay. £10 wood. Real. Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna do another order to USA Balsa for some 1/8 inch. See if I can get some more sub 5-pound wood. Okay, you gotta walk over and cut this. Be right back. Thank you, Gary. Okay. Now, see, it's not gonna fit, but see how much we gotta take off of it. Okay, right there. Gotta get that 12-inch disc sander. All right, give me a second. I'll be right back. Gotta buzz 1/8 of an inch off of this. Let's see. Goes on this way. Need to sand the back half just a smidge. It's kind of rough there. Close. It's close. Another pass on that. Yes, not quite. Turn this over and do it that way. There it is. Yay. Now the problem is, this is going to have to go down to nothing up here in the front. Because remember, this has got to be 1/8 of an inch smaller than the airplane. There ain't no way for me to get that. How am I going to get that? I guess I just have to eyeball it. So I need to cut that right there. We'll get it close and then we'll plane it to size and then sand it to shape. Then I have to glue that onto another board. Damn, this is heavy. I mean, this would knock somebody out. It's like pine. So I can't take a camera over there, but I can point the camera that way. I'm not going to cut it on the jigsaw. I'm going to cut it on the bandsaw. So give me a second. I'll turn this so you can see what I'm doing. it's close enough. Hopefully it's planes easy. It's really hard stuff. Okie dokie. Let's see where we're at here. Ah, perfect. Let's go flying. Perfect. Let's go flying. I got to get that red airplane done today because the guy who owns it's going to give me a sole engine plane. I haven't seen one of them in 45 years. Okay, so now we'll take our crappy, these are the Dubro or Sullivan plane, master air screw plane. And we'll start making chips. If I had that big 12-inch disc sander, I'd just take it over there and buzz it off. Oh, make a pile of dust like you can't believe. Boy, our city must be really hurting. They've sent the property tax bills 2 months in advance. I got an idea how to save money. Quit giving it to people who don't deserve it. And you see how much we got to take off? We got to take off all that. But I got to do it with shape. I can't just cut it off. That's the only bad thing about molded parts. You got to do it twice. Yeah, be careful what you wish for. The new might be worse than the old, like we got. Man. You know what? No, I'll just go ahead and glue the canopy on like I normally do. I don't want to get too carried away. I just find a light piece of wood. Let's see what this weighs. This will blow you away. I'd say it was 11 pound, 10 or 11 pound wood when I started. It's still the same poundage of wood. 154 grams, 5.4 ounces for that little piece right there. Normally, this would be like an ounce or 2 ounces tops, and then you hollow it out and you get an ounce out of it. You could never hollow this out and get a usable piece out of it. Hey Marcel, if you look at the last video, at the end of the video, it's got the Viper playlist. 76 videos in the playlist. Or you can go to my channel and view playlists for the first Viper. We're now working on the new and improved Viper. Same numbers, different techniques. Try to make it lighter. Molded, molded, molded. Let's see, if I do that, I have to just make it just a little smaller, not a whole lot smaller. Where's my number 22? I'm gonna hog off. There it is. I don't know how sharp this is. They haven't bought any of these in years. Do this, it might be fine. Yeah, shit. Like woodland oak. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, damn. Should have made this out of foam, but I don't have any foam. I got some other 10, 11 pound stock 3/8 I'm going to glue together and make the base for it. To put this in contrast, this is 11 pound wood power. And it weighs 4.8 ounces. This is 5 pound wood, and it's bigger, longer, and it weighs 3.4 ounces. I do, Gary. I got all kind of blocks, but all kinds of molds. But if the shape is not perfect, I just make another mold. It ain't no big deal. You know, I ought to just cut it out of this. It'd be so much faster. Let me think here. If I cut it out of this, tear. This is 3.2 ounces. So we'll see we get it down to 2 ounces. I could get it to 1 pretty easy. Let's see where we're at with this. Gotta take the tank out of it. Let's see where we're at. Oh, shoot. I'm weighing all this rigmarole. It's at 0. It's at 21.9, so 22, 23, 20. You know what? I'm just going to make it out of it. I'm not going to mold it. This is way too difficult, cutting this piece of pine. I'll save that for another day. I'm just going to make it out of this 5-pound block and hollow it out. I can do it a whole lot faster. A whole lot faster. All I got to do is get it, cut it to length, tack it on there, shape it, sand it, hollow it. I'll be done. That I got to do 3 times. Not worth it. Not worth it. So I need to cut this to length. Okay, give me a second. I want to take a second to cut and sand this. Why put up with the aggravation? Okay, so we need to take a little off that. If I had some foam, I'd do it. Mold it. Yeah, it's not worth it. That can be done so quick, it's ridiculous. There we go. Cut the sand a little short. No biggie. No biggie. So this one fit pretty good. This on here like so. And I sanded it way short. 1/16 of an inch. What are you doing, Spark? Ain't nothing. I'm not even, this is so soft, I'm not even going to bother to cut it. I'm just going to tack it on and shape it. Of course, the glue bottle stopped up. Yeah, there we go. Which way is the best? That way. Shit. I talk to Wendy once in a while. Last time I talked about a year ago, I suppose. No, it was in when I won the concourse award. He talked to me. He knew how hard I tried to win that. Okay, it's the right length now. No big deal. It's only wood. Okay, we need to get a weight. We need to watch the weight on this. I need to get it down to 1/4 ounce. If I can do it, we're in there. If not, I'll have to mold one. That's taking a lot of weight off, but I think I can do it. Less than a 1/2 ounce anyway. Okay, let's see what it weighs. Start keeping track. 3.1. Okay, I'm going to walk over to the bandsaw and cut this off real quick. 3.1. Okay, 3.1. Weight's going to come down on this really quick. 3.1, 2.7. The nice thing about doing it this way is I can glue the canopy onto this and carve and hollow it all in one piece. I mean, I like carved nose blocks, but I was going to mold it. It's just too much of a pain in the ass for this rockwood. Matter of fact, I'm going to throw it out. I can't see any use for this. Throw it out before I so I could use that and end up with a turd. I won the concourse in what was it? This is 13, 2000 or 23. I don't 21 or 22, whatever I did with the Monado. I got that one. I've been hosed a few times, but that's okay. You know, different people like different stuff. Last year, I didn't have a concourse airplane. I had a good airplane, but not a concourse airplane, but certainly not a 16-point airplane. Certainly not. But it doesn't matter because I killed I'm just fodder at the Nats. They don't care about me. I take my $100 and do whatever with it. Pretty hard to beat a guy like Orestes flying a Yatsenko. I know damn well he didn't. I read the bio on the Yatsenkos. Those guys were pretty impressive. They're aircraft engineers. Pretty impressive. I've talked to some people who say that they don't like them, and some people say they love them. I'm just wondering how many Yatsenkos are going to try to squeeze through at the Nats this year. If you got two airplanes that are identical, and they both said they built them, you know they're full of crap. One guy built one of them, maybe. And that's a big maybe. You have to show me. This is Missouri. Let's see, is this a light piece? No, that's a heavy piece. This is a light piece. Let's build our canopy out of this piece. So, in order to make it look right, we want to make the canopy with the wingtip. With the wingtip, yeah, with the wingtip. Put a center line on this turd. Let me, I think I'll cut that off right there. We'll cut this off. Yeah, one of them guys didn't build it if you got two identical airplanes. I don't care what they say. See, how did that for okay, so we got our canopy here. We got our canopy. So what you do in that situation when you got two identical airplanes, you get the both guys together and say, okay, one of you two guys is lying, you figure it out. Or three or four or wherever how many there happens to be. Because have you ever seen two kits built identical? No. No. Okay, here's what I mean by using the wingtip to get the canopy. And this is just the rough shape. You have to sand it in, but just knocking off a big. You can use a rib too. And now I cut that out. All right, this is the canopy. It weighs less than probably. I'd say this is probably 3 grams. Let's see, power, and it's going to come down some more. It says it weighs 8. Okay. I'll put it on there and we'll carve her to spec. There it is. And mold it in, ain't no big deal. Probably can't see what I'm doing. That's it. And then get it all carved up, carved and sanded, hollowed out. Yeah, I'm gonna go get that big disc sander because the sale is only good till 11/2. It's $50 off or $60 off. Can't afford it, but I gotta get it. I've been wanting one of them things forever since I used John's. Okay, so we need a center line here. I'll do that after I end this show. I'll go get that big disc sander. Then I got to come back and paint this airplane another coat. I sanded on it last night. Some more. That's terrible. Sanding on it is the deal. You got to sand. Okay. Some glue on this. You guys notice that I use white glue where I'm going to sand? The reason being is CA leaves a hard spot, brittle. For any of you guys that are my age or older, when we were younger, we had shop class. And in wood shop, we made wood turned bowls. And you glued them bowls together and clamped them up, them pieces of wood together, and they became one piece. So that's why I do it with that type of glue. And we got to make sure to get squeeze out too. I don't have no paper towels. I got to get paper towels too while I'm out. Two stuff. So this is going to be a good place to stop. I'll go Harbor Freight and get that 12-inch disc sander while this is drying. Then I'll draw on its side what it looks like, where it comes up and like that. We'll get it roughed out with a knife and sanded to shape. I think I can get it down to 14 grams. When I was up talking to Billy a couple years back, he was asking, "You got any 5-pound blocks?" Yeah. I need one. No, I ain't giving them up. I ain't giving them up, Billy. These were originally going to be wingtips. You can see they were going to be wingtips on my Junar XL. I was going to cut them out, glue them together, and build solid wingtips. But I got to thinking, I can make them perimeter tips a whole lot lighter. These end up being a 1/2 ounce, and perimeter tip end up being 4 grams. Ain't a big difference. I don't know what these tips weigh, but they're not very heavy. Well, we got 1 hour and 37 minutes in. Give me a couple hours. I got to go to Harbor Freight, AutoZone, and then I'll come back. I got to have some paper towels. I'm completely out. Now, I could have bought them from Amazon, $34 for 12 rolls, or 20 for 6. That's about a $6 savings. But I just don't want to spend that kind of money on paper towels. $35, even though I need them. All right. Like, subscribe, and share, and I'll be back in a bit after I get some stuff. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya. Come on. There we are.